appreciate you trying to pretend that I did.
Let's go to Senator Hoeven, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for being here, Mr. Secretary. Appreciate it. Appreciate your service. Have you ever started any businesses and run any businesses?
Yes.
Have you served as a governor and at any point in your career?
Yes.
In any of those positions, did you go in and work to find savings and also then put people and systems in place that actually, while saving money, enabled you to provide better services to your customers?
Yes, thank you, Senator Hoeven. When I came into North Dakota, we had a $6 billion general fund, and we cut it by $1.7 billion, 27% the first 4 months I was in office. All the trains still ran on time, and we created more meaningful, more purposeful jobs for the people that work there.
In fact, not only do you have a great love of the outdoors, you're a rancher, you like to hunt, but one of your specialties is finding and putting in place systems that actually improve the productivity of the workforce so you deliver better service at lower cost. That's one of the things you specialize in, isn't it?
Well, I spent 2.5 decades in the private sector developing software systems to do exactly that.
Yeah, and so the other thing that would actually help you accomplish that and make sure there's more people in the parks and that the American citizens are better served is if you could actually get your management team in place, right, instead of having it held up for no good reason. So you just said, what, you've got one of 16 people that have to be confirmed, and we sit here voting in the middle of the night because nobody will let you get your team on board so you can do the very things that some here want to criticize you for? Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, we have the first one starting next week.
Yeah,
the executive leadership team. So
if somebody really wanted to help you get your team in place and make sure that service is getting done, seems like they would want to help you get that team in place rather than hold it up. Wouldn't you think? Would that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. I know you're aware of the Advanced Training Center that we have at Camp Grafton, which is our National Guard facility in North Dakota, and that you've worked with it. And you're probably aware that of the recent statistics of the more than 5,400 law enforcement BIA law enforcement officers trained. 3,000 of them got training at that facility, and so it supports Artesia in terms of getting BIA law enforcement officers trained up and on the job. And we only have in the Northern Plains about 50% of those staff positions filled, meaning almost a 50% vacancy rate. So my question to you is, will you work with us? And we've got the senator here from New Mexico, so he knows Artesia. He knows how important this issue is. But particularly for the Northern Plains and folks that live up there and want to stay up there, we've got to enhance this training and expand the course offerings. Are you willing to work and in support of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The next question I have is, we have wild horses in the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. I've got a bill in with Senator Kane, bipartisan. He has some experience with the horses out, on the East Coast and in the parks there. It would make sure that require maintenance of a genetically diverse herd. In no event less than 150 horses. Are you in support of that legislation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me about the public lands rule. Under the Biden administration, they sought to essentially put more than 245 million acres off limits of public land, off limits for any kind of energy development. For example, just an example, our state, that's 45% of the federal oil and gas acreage, and that's 99% of the federal coal acreage. That's just our state, okay? So talk to me about the importance of addressing that rule, overhauling that rule, and making sure that we have access on behalf of, you can talk about the balance sheet here a little bit if you want in terms of our federal assets for energy production on behalf of this country and one of your key roles in terms of energy development.
Well, yes, Senator Hoeven, striking hundreds of millions of acres off of the America's balance sheet was basically like stealing from our children and our children's children, because all of those represent the opportunity to sustainably develop, whether it's grazing, whether it's forestry, whether it's critical minerals, which are essential for national security, whether it's just energy development to help win the AI arms race with China. All of those things are essential, and public lands were meant for the benefit and the use of the American people. They weren't meant to be all certainly some areas are wilderness areas and need to be protected completely, like national parks and wilderness areas, but that represents a small fraction of the total amount. So I'm with you completely, and it's completely irresponsible that we would cheer when we're hurting ourselves financially, because when we shut down the multiple use doctrine for public lands, we're actually hurting America and we're helping our adversaries.
Yeah, and Madam Chair, just a final question quickly, but it's just to once again reaffirm, your whole career, in every capacity you've had, has been to provide better service to the people that you're working for, whether it's in a business or whether it's for the state. And given the opportunity, you believe you can do that here as well. In other words, better service in the national parks, better resource management, if you're given the chance to do it, right?
Yeah, I've never entered an organization that has this much redundant overhead and outdated systems. Never seen anything like it. It's worse than when I walked in North Dakota 9 years ago. And the opportunities for creating better, more meaningful jobs for our dedicated team members and to deliver better service is enormous.
And I've known you for over 30 years, and you've done it in every role, and I would just encourage people to work with you, and they will be very pleased, I believe, with the outcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Hoeven. Senator Murray.
Thank you very much, Chairman